Okay, I tried to upload this video before, earlier this morning, but, I guess there's no way to rotate, videos on here anymore, so I'm gonna redo this video, around a better time when I'm more awake now, and, upload it, the right way, so I won't have to worry about rotating it. Anyways, most stories of bullying, are about teenagers, when they're in high school. That seems to be the most common occurrence that people talk about. In my case, it started long before that. I've been bullied ever since I was growing up, going to school, because of everything that was different about me. Because I was learning disabled, because I was overweight, anything, the strange things that I did the things that they considered strange, that they didn't do, that they didn't see anyone else doing that were like them, I was bullied by the boys, not really any by the girls. It started all the way in elementary school. A couple girls, maybe one girl bullied me. She was really more of a tomboy, I believe. And that's all I'm really gonna say. Because, I don't have her permission to say anything else. And plus, I didn't even know back then, so, none of us knew back then. We were all just kids. Anyways, I was bullied by the boys every day. This one boy in particular, Eric, I'm just gonna call him Eric. Just give you the name Eric. I was wearing this one outfit this one day. I forgot what what it was called. It's one of those jumpsuits, but with it was sleeveless, like a muscle shirt, and had scrunchy things on it, on the sleeve, on the, straps for the for the sleeves, that kind of thing. So it didn't have any sleeves. It had straps for the sleeves, and it had scrunchy things on it, like scrunchies. And it was all tie-dye, and it had shorts connected. No seam in the middle, let's see here. Anyways, this boy decided one day to walk up to me, pull it open towards him, and look down it. His mom just happened to be there. And I told her what he did, and he got caught for it. And that's one thing I'll never forget. One day in summer school, not one day, but every day in summer school, I would, bring, I would like to drink Slim Fast, not for the weight loss, but for the taste, I didn't think anything of it, because I like the taste of it, because, I like chocolate, okay, I like chocolate ever since I was a kid. And I also had this small thing of Pringles, with it. and the boys would be shouting Slim Fat, over and over at me. The one in particular would be this boy named Jake, who I would say ironically, but at the same time I wouldn't like to say that because it's really bad to say, but I think it would, because I wouldn't really say it's ironically, but he committed suicide or losing his girlfriend, I guess. I don't find any pleasure in that, but I think it seems kind of ironic to me. I don't know, because when he bullied me, when those boys were bullying me, we were just kids, They didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. None of us knew any better. We were just kids, I hold no grudges against them, but memories of what happened are etched in my mind forever. I can't remember everything, but I can remember some things that stick out in my mind. And I remember quite a few people from back then. It lasted all the way through from elementary school to middle school. From what I heard, every girl that I knew back then ended up pregnant. But I'm getting a little ahead here. I was the loner. I didn't really have any friends, even though people pretended to be my friends back then. Even one that still tries to pretend to be my friend. Even if she was truly my friend, I guess we just grew apart. Because over the years, a lot of things change. People change. So I can't really say that she was never truly my friend, because it's like we spent so much time away from each other, all those years. Too much changes, So I blame it on time. I blame it on the changes in time. It's just how things happen sometimes, I guess. People just, end up, growing apart. Like it happened, like with, relationships, with people who are in relationships, lovers, it happens the same with friends, I guess, There were girls that pretended to be nice to me, but I knew they just felt sorry for me. Just to, when they were just pretending to be nice, because they felt sorry for me. It wasn't hard to tell, even as a kid. In middle school, there were boys that were in grades higher than me that were bullying me because I wasn't as quick to understand or learn as they were. I wasn't as smart as them, because I was overweight. Two names in particular that stand out are Ryan and Joe. I'm not going to give out any last names because, I'm not causing any trouble. I'm not going to get anybody mad at me. I'm just here to tell my story. See, I tried telling my story with flashcards before, but that didn't work out because the pen I used didn't show up very well in the video, and my handwriting sucks. Always has, always will. It's just not something you can fix, I guess. Teachers have tried when I was growing up, but I guess, it's just not something you can fix. I tend to, how to put it, if I take my time, I can write neat, but I tend to, without realizing that at first, speed up with my writing, and try to write fast, because I get impatient. I don't know why, but I do. And that causes me to write sloppy. In high school, it wasn't so bad. There weren't as many people bullying me. It wasn't that bad, and it wasn't that bad of bullying either. There were one or two guys, but it wasn't that bad. Back in elementary, middle school, though, it was pretty bad. I was in tears all the time. I was, all alone. I was always sitting by myself, doing weird things, embarrassing things, and I was getting made fun of for it, singled out. I was the loner in school, I guess. And looking back on it, I'm not really, it didn't really bother me, because it's like, well, the bullying did, but not having any friends didn't, I don't know why, but it just didn't. It's like I preferred, to be alone, but at the same time, having friends to make memories with, to spend time with, to hang out with, is one thing I wanted most in this world. Friends that accept me and love me and care about me, that I can trust unconditionally, something I never got. That I guess just wasn't in God's plan. And I guess that's fine with me, Back in elementary, middle school, though, when I was being bullied, and since I was being bullied, I would stick by the teachers. I would befriend the teachers, because of that. Fast forwarding back to high school, it wasn't that bad. It stopped after a while. There was a couple girls, maybe one girl and a couple guys that bullied me, maybe, that I remember. But once I stood up to them and showed them I wasn't going to put up with it anymore, it stopped. And life got easier, But sometime after I graduated high school, when I was 21 years old, I met this guy on Facebook. I was at the library on the computer. And I added this guy who turned out to actually be who he said he was. At least I thought, and now I don't know anymore. But this guy, he taught me not to care about, he taught me a few things. One was not to care about a person's status, how much money they get, pretty much not to care about if they're rich and famous, just to care about who they are as a person, you know. He tricked me into believing that he was a good guy, that he was my friend. He had me brainwashed. He and his girlfriend at the time. And, they had me believing, this, and they deceived me into getting attached. They deceived me into getting attached to them, caring about them, loving them, trusting them, despite all that happened, despite all they put me through. And they put me through hell. They verbally, cyberly, they verbally, through the internet, used me as a punching bag for their own amusement. They tortured me through the internet by, saying all, just by how they talked to me, by how they treated me. They cyber harassed me, and despite the way they treated me, I stuck around because I cared about him and his girlfriend that much. I didn't see what they were doing to me. I felt worthless, unloved, unlovable, numb, empty, less than human. However you want to describe that. And I was cutting. And one day I even attempted suicide. And despite all that, I still went back to them. I was kicked in and out of their circle. I kept on coming back no matter what, until one day I was found by a group of Christians that made me feel loved and accepted more than I ever thought possible. I felt so understood, like I finally fit in. But that changed. They brainwashed me, took advantage of me, and, they became like a cult. Made me hurt people, just like this guy did with his friends. Not exactly in the way that he did, but they brainwashed me into hating certain types of people that weren't like us, and into speaking out against these people for being the way that they are, for believing the way that they are. They made me believe that what I was doing was right, that I was supposed to do this, that I was supposed to speak out against and expose their sin, and all that kind of stuff. But all they were doing was using the Bible to try and justify their bigotry and hatred, their ignorance, their hypocrisy, their pride. Trying to justify their behavior with the Bible when there's no justifying that kind of behavior. That's not how a Christian acts. Sorry if I kind of talk funny. I don't have my teeth in. I know I really should, but I'm just more comfortable, without them. But that's not how Christians should act. So I ventured out on my own to start my own journey. to learn the truth. I almost permanently became just like them. And if it wasn't for a real friend of mine waking me up to what was really going on and God leading me out of there, I would have permanently ended up just like them. The two people I once knew, I instantly connected with. There were two people I once knew I instantly connected with. And it felt like I've known them my whole life. They understood me. They accepted me. They were always there. Things were great. And despite all that happened, I still love them, care about them, and regard them as wiser, elder believers. Despite how they changed. Despite how they have become. Despite what they have become. I miss them. I miss how things used to be. But there's no going back. Everybody that used to be in my group changed. There was so much hatred, so much fighting, so much anger, pride, hypocrisy among everyone, between each other. It was horrible. But I'm getting off topic here. I do apologize, but it does have to do with my story in a way. Ever since then, I've been out on my own. Is what I'm trying to say. And that pretty much just brings me to where I am today. Still trying to get on the right path, still trying to stay on the right path, still trying to figure things out, and act how a Christian should. Trying to help others, trying to love others, despite how they treat me, trying to remain humble. Let's see here. Trying to maintain control and find peace once again that I once had, trying to find that love that I once felt when I was in that group. That peace, that love that I once felt. I'm not going to find it, looking towards other followers. That's all gone. Satan stole that away. Only place I'm going to find that now is to God, looking to God, spending time with Him, reading my Bible, Speaking of which, I'm going to do another video as soon as I can. I'm going to try to, here in a little bit or sometime later on tonight, about him and about people who feel disappointed and let down and angry and hurt and heartbroken because they feel that he didn't protect them, that he didn't help them, that he wasn't there for them. I'm gonna pass on some wisdom for those people who were once believers, but because they feel that way, turned away from Him, and stopped believing and lost their faith. So, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, love y'all, God bless.